They have been essential to our efforts to bring PPE, to distribute therapies like monoclonal antibodies, to bring tests throughout the country. What you're going to hear here is only the tip of the iceberg of what they've done to support this pandemic response in our country. You heard their names, but Sean Siemens, President, RX Crossroads, Executive Sponsor, Enterprise COVID Vaccine Program with McKesson. Mark Casper, Chairman, President, and CEO of Thermo Fisher. Wes Wheeler, President, UPS Healthcare. And finally, Richard Smith, Regional President of the Americas for FedEx.
I think a lot of the onus on protecting the vaccine is on the packaging side, and I know Wes is going to talk a little bit to that, so I'll hand it over to you, Wes.
Sure, thanks. Before we talk about the packaging, I just want to, we've been involved with the pandemic since the very beginning with movement of over 20 million pounds of PPE into the country from China and all over the world. We're very, very much involved all the way through the process. Of course, then we got involved with the clinical trials. In fact, we were the principal supplier of the logistics for Pfizer's clinical trial, and some of that trial is still ongoing for some of the ancillary components later on. We have worked, as soon as April, we started a full-time vaccine task force, started to look at all the various components. We mapped out tens of thousands of lanes across the country, across the world, very similar to what FedEx has done, to make sure that we had the capacity across the United States in every single jurisdiction of the U.S. plus the world. So that's been what we've been doing to get ready for this. I think temperature control is something that's very, very important. We can talk about perhaps Admiral Jar in the next segment.
Fantastic. I didn't know if you wanted to show us now
Sure.
About your the equipment, the shipper box that
Sure.
you brought. I think it's a good time to do that.
Okay, I'm gonna ask Charlton to come up for a second. Okay, so we have two boxes here. This is how Pfizer's box will be shipped. Pfizer has designed this package exclusively for them and for the Pfizer vaccine. There's 4 components in the box. It's a thermal shipper. In the bottom, there's dry ice. In the middle, there's the payload. And on top is more dry ice. And on the very top of the box, you'll see, and you can show that here, is a controllant device that contracts the GPS location of this box. Plus, there's a thermal temperature probe that goes into the payload to make sure the temperature at minus 70 degrees Celsius is actually maintained throughout the journey. So this box will be ready. They'll be shipped from 2 locations, Michigan and Wisconsin. They'll come to our locations at FedEx and also at UPS in Louisville, Kentucky. And we will have all the data that comes from this box streaming into our command center. We have a 24/7 command center in Louisville, Kentucky, and all the data streaming in from that box will come into us in addition to our own tracking device, which you'll see here. This box actually went through a couple of tests recently, so you'll see there's a tag on here. Where's the tag?
Over here, Wes.
Sorry?
Over here.
On the other side? You got the wrong side. This tag here has multiple radios built into it. Every box will have one of these tags attached. And this tag is actually communicating to our command center every time it hits a UPS location. So we'll have that data, we'll have the Pfizer data, and on top of that we have a Sentry device, which I'll ask Charlton to pull out. Is this thing here? This will also be attached to every trailer load that comes out of the Pfizer location and the Moderna location and the McKesson location to give real-time GPS data as well as temperature and shock and light exposure. So we have 3 ways of tracking the data every time a shipment moves. Now, on top of that, one more. Once this arrives at each dosing center around the country, UPS will be shipping dry ice to replenish the box. So this will start to sublimate after a few days, which means evaporate, and we will be shipping in this box dry ice, about 42 pounds of dry ice the day after. This has been something that General Perna has asked for, something we've designed, and we're prepared to do this from Louisville, Kentucky. And on top, we will be manufacturing 24,000 pounds of dry ice per day. We expect at peak to be shipping about 60 to 70,000 pounds of dry ice per day in total. So that's how it's going to work.
Truly impressive.
I'll add to that. Of course, we have 3,000 pilots in the U.S. We land 400 to 500 flights per day and take off every night from Louisville, Kentucky. We ship 60 million flu vaccines a year. We're very good at this. We know how to handle biologic drugs. This happens to be a pretty specialized biologic drug because it's kept at very, very, very low temperatures. So the one thing we've had to do is make sure that we have enough dry ice capacity on the aircraft and that we know exactly how to handle the special tracking devices that I explained earlier on that box. I'm just going to mention, in terms of scale, remember, this is a peak period for us, for both FedEx and UPS. We shipped 34 million packages yesterday. So we're estimating that the number of shipments required for vaccine, a very small amount. This is a small fraction of what we do every day.
We've got this. Relax. It's FedEx and UPS.
I've seen that myth been propagated this weekend, so thanks for clarifying that. You have one?
Well, I think the perception that everything travels in a temperature-controlled vehicle or aircraft is we have that, of course. We do that every day with many, many products. In this case, these vaccines' temperature is controlled in the box. The box has been designed to maintain temperature for 10 days. And I didn't show this before, but that's a 2 ml vial right there. And we can put up to 5,000 doses in that box. And so the temperature will be maintained for 10 days. And we will have the dry ice to replenish if necessary. So the myth that we can't move temperature-controlled stuff in temperature-controlled vehicles is just not right. This is how we're doing it.
Fantastic.
They said it well.
Yeah. Any myths from you? Well, I just want to say I want to thank all of you and all your employees. When they get up in the morning, I hope when you ask them what they're doing, they're not loading an aircraft, they're saving lives. They're saving thousands of lives. Their contribution is as vital as anybody with a stethoscope or immunizing someone. And I can just say, having worked with all your companies since really day one, this pandemic, I want to sincerely thank you on behalf of the American people, our service, and everyone you serve.